I want to make sure women understand something. I had to realize that the head of the household had nothing to do with your money.
Exactly.
The head of the household has to do with, for me, it had to do with his decision making. It had to do with his relationship to God. It had to do, you know what I mean? It was a spiritual head to me. And I didn't grow up in the church, and I knew that's what I liked about him. When we started talking and on the phone, it was all about how he was raised and what I liked, and I knew where I was going later in life. And so for me, the head of the household really is more than that he's the breadwinner. It was about his decision making.
If you asked 100 people whether the belief the head of household has nothing to do with money is a patriarchal belief or a feminist belief, how many different answers do you think you'd get? Probably a lot. And that's exactly the problem. We use words like patriarchy and feminism all the time, but most of us have never stopped to ask ourselves what we actually mean when we use them. Here's why this matters. Most couples never sit down and talk about what they expect marriage to look like. They just go with the flow. They assume their partner sees marriage the same way they do. They expect each other to just know. And those unspoken expectations become resentment, contempt, disappointment, and conflict. We talk all the time about choosing a partner based on shared values. But before you can discover whether you and your partner share the same values, you first have to know what your own are. The truth is, most people never take the time to unpack what they actually believe about dating, relationships, and marriage. Then we wonder why so many relationships fail. So I created this exercise, not to tell you what patriarchy or feminism mean, but to help you discover what you think they mean. This isn't meant to be watched, it's meant to be completed. Exercises like these can be scary, but always remember, you can't expect your partner to truly see you when you're afraid to see yourself. Pause, screenshot each page, and come back to it when you have about 15 minutes to think. For each statement, decide whether it aligns more with patriarchy or feminism based on your current understanding. Then decide whether you personally agree or disagree with it. Don't Google anything. Don't worry about getting the right answer. This isn't a quiz, it's self-reflection. Here's page 1, Dating Beliefs. Take a screenshot so you can complete it when you have 15 minutes to think. And here's page 2, Marriage Beliefs. When you're done with the first 2 pages, ask yourself these questions. Now look for contradictions. Do any of your answers pull in opposite directions? For example, do you expect men and women to be equal while also expecting completely different responsibilities? Do you expect men to lead while believing leadership should always be earned? Do your beliefs tell one coherent story or several competing ones? And finally, ask yourself this. Which 3 beliefs would be deal breakers for me in a potential partner? If you're in a relationship or married, here's your challenge. Complete the worksheet separately. Don't discuss your answers until you're both finished. Then compare them. The goal isn't to agree on everything. The goal is to understand each other more deeply. You can't build a shared vision of marriage if you've never defined your own. Because healthy relationships aren't built on assumptions. They're built on conversations most couples never think to have. If you want a downloadable version of this exercise, feel free to contact me.